Thank you, Mayor Dyer. First of all, Omar, I want to thank you for your words that says gun violence affects everyone. But first, it affects families. It affected Omar with the loss of his sister. But I'd also like to take a moment to introduce one of our local families that gun violence has affected, and that's Mr. and Mrs. Pope, who lost their son, and I call his name today Marcus Mason. Marcus Mason. I've been in law enforcement for 27 years, and I can tell you I've gone to more law enforcement funerals than I care to acknowledge. Last year, you all remember, Tampa Police Department had 2 officers that were shot to death. In December of last year, Orange County Deputy Brandon Cope was shot and murdered. And this year, Florida, the Sunshine State, has had 5 officers who were shot and killed. The grief alone, whether you're a family member, a co-worker, or a friend, the grief alone is truly enough to deal with. But I can tell you what else is truly agonizing is the fact that they were murdered by habitual violent offenders. Now I have to ask you today, how is that possible? How are these habitual violent offenders on the streets in the first place? I have to ask the question, how are these habitual violent offenders on the streets, and how are they able to arm themselves with guns in the first place? We must take steps at every level of government to hold irresponsible gun dealers accountable and ensure that guns do not fall in the hands of someone determined to do harm to our families and to our law enforcement officers. The time is now, and the time is right.